What up, YouTube? It's your boy Darius. We're about to react to the USA team that we never got and ranking the best USA teams by Jonny Arnett. Since this is 4th of July, I'm a basketball aficionado. Um, it's only fitting to watch this type of video. So I thank you, Jonny Arnett. Give you a shout out. But let's get to it. Kobe, man, you're the man, and you still are. Shit, it's hot. Congrats. Hold on 1 second, y'all.
Since 1936, basketball has been an Olympic sport, but for most years of Olympic history, USA basketball was not represented by the country's greatest players, but usually by only the best collegiate players. Well, that was until 1992, when the US recognized that the rest of the world was getting better, and it was time to get serious about securing gold medals. For the first time ever, the US Olympic basketball team would be represented by pro players. And in 1992,
and that's when they didn't have Isaiah Thomas.
That is famously remembered as the Dream Team, 11 Hall of Famers who absolutely destroyed the competition, and the sport was changed forever. So this raises a question. What if the US didn't wait until 1992, and pro players had always represented the United States during the Olympic Games?
I think Isaiah Thomas would have been either in 1984 or 1988. Originally I mentioned Isaiah Thomas because, we all know the situation with him being left off of the Dream Team. A lot of people want to blame Michael Jordan, but here's the thing. If Michael Jordan had anything to do with it, it wasn't just him. You have Magic and you have Larry Bird. Larry Bird really did not like Isaiah Thomas. And even though Magic, I said they were friends. Magic had stated that it was him who kept Isaiah Thomas off the team. So that three of the top guys right there. And then you have other guys like Scottie Pippen, Charles Barkley, and Karl Malone who also didn't like Isaiah Thomas. So it would not be best it would not be best harmony for Isaiah Thomas to be on that team. Did he deserve to be on that team? Yes, he did. But would it be bad chemistry? Sadly, I think it would have been, but you just don't know.
Groups would stand out. In this video, I'm going to answer that, but I decided to take it even a step further and ranked both the greatest USA teams and the greatest hypothetical USA teams on one list.
The redeemed team.
Obviously, these are all just my opinion, and I'm not any more qualified to make these decisions than you guys are. So let me know in the comments section how you would rank these hypothetical all-time great USA teams. Also, there's a couple things that I need to make clear before we get into the list. One, although I picked the players who would represent the hypothetical USA teams, we can't possibly be certain that these players would have accepted the invite. Like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, for example, who had the opportunity to represent the US during his college days in 1968. But for personal reasons, he declined in that instance. So when I'm going through the list of the what-if USA teams, just remember to consiber it with a grain of salt.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he was woke before woke became a trend. I don't think he would have accepted the Team USA if he had if it was geared toward the pro player. But hey, like I said, it is what it is.
Leitner was on the 1992 Dream Team even though he was still in college? That's because at the time, the committee was selecting 11 pro players and 1 college player so they could hold on to the collegiate tradition. Well, that didn't last very long, and before you know it, all 12 players were pros on Team USA. Due to this, I will only select 12 pros and no college players to represent each hypothetical team. Seeing that this now puts the Dream Team at a disadvantage, let's go ahead and swap out Christian Laettner for the still dominant Dominique Wilkins. Some would rather have Isaiah Thomas on that Dream Team, but the other players on the team,
Dominique Wilkins, I keep forgetting that he's American. He just had the French name. I thought he was born in France. But,
Some would rather have Isaiah Thomas on that Dream Team, but the other players on the team still would not have wanted that. I would argue at that stage of their career that Dominique Wilkins was more deserving of the 12th spot anyway. The last thing you need to know is that not including the FIBA Championship, there have been a combined 15 real and hypothetical Olympic teams since the 1960s. I'm not going to rank all 15 because I don't want to waste time talking about all the bad teams. So instead, I'm only talking about the 8 greatest USA teams. If you would like to read all my selections of every other team since 1960...
Not gold medal, bronze medal, where they had Tim Duncan and Allen Iverson. Every time, like, with LeBron hater, they always want to mention 2004 bronze team. And how they associate with LeBron. Why they never associate with Tim Duncan and Allen Iverson?
You can do so in the pinned comment. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Yeah, I like Stephon
Number
Marbury.
8, the 1976 team.
This unit is
absolutely stacked, as it's a powerful combination between NBA players and ABA players. Narrowing this group down to just 12 players was incredibly tough, as there was easily 16 to 18 superstar players during this era. First, your guards are Walt Frazier, Nate Tiny Archibald, Pistol Pete Maravich, and George the Iceman Gervin. The forwards are David Thompson, Julius Erving, Rick Barry, Elvin Hayes, and Bob McAdoo. The centers are Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Dave Cowens, and Artis Gilmore. One thing is for sure. This team would have no issues scoring the basketball, as there are scoring titles all over the roster. This group would have been incredibly fast, and with guys like Pete Maravich, David Thompson, and Rick Barry, they could have done well even in another era that's focused on three-point shooting. Walt Frazier would have had a lot of responsibility to keep this many scoring threats happy with just one basketball, but if anything, that's a pretty good problem to have. Number 7. The 1984 team. The guards are a young Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, George the Iceman Gervin, and the multi-defensive player of the year winner, Sidney Moncrief. The forwards are Larry Bird, Julius Erving, Adrian Dantley, Kevin McHale, and Bill Laimbeer to provide defense and rebounding. At center, you have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Moses Malone, and the Celtics rim protector, Robert Parrish. This would have been another potent offense, but this unit also would have been very formidable defensively, both on the interior and perimeter. Although the 84 team would have certainly dominated, the timing wasn't exactly perfect, as guys like Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, and John Stockton would have been eligible candidates if the Olympics had taken place just one season later. Number 6, the 1996 team, also commonly referred to as Dream Team 3. This was a group we actually got to witness, and with their overwhelming talent, they were able to comfortably secure the gold medal in Atlanta. The team wasn't perfect, as they had some issues with chemistry and minutes, but regardless, there was little doubt about them taking home the gold. The guards were Gary Payton, John Stockton, Penny Hardaway, Reggie Miller, and Mitch Richmond. The forwards were Grant Hill, Scottie Pippen, Charles Barkley, and Karl Malone. And possibly the most terrifying rotation of centers that the game has ever seen, with David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, and a young Shaquille O'Neal. Other than Michael Jordan, there was basically nothing that this 96 team was lacking, as they had an array of shooters, great facilitators, elite rebounders, a lockdown defense on the perimeter, and some of the greatest rim protectors the game has ever seen. They also had a great blend of youth and experience. As far as the deepest USA team of all time, this group certainly has a case. Number 5. The 1968 team. When you go this far back into basketball history, some people want to argue that the quality of athlete wasn't as good then as it is now. But I must say, it's really hard to make that argument when you look at the names on this roster. At the guards are the lethal scorers Oscar Robertson and Dave Bing, along with Lenny Wilkins, Jerry West, Hal Greer, and John Havlicek. The forwards are Elgin Baylor, Connie Hawkins, Willis Reed, and Jerry Lucas. At center is the dominant Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell. Which of those two you start is basically irrelevant. Almost all of the players on this roster were solid rebounders. Even with their overwhelming talent, they wouldn't have had any issues playing as a team, as almost all of these players were fantastic at getting great opportunities for their teammates, including Wilt Chamberlain, who was coming off a season where he just led all players in overall assists. Number 4, the 2012 team. This is another group that we were fortunate enough to witness, as this team displayed some of the greatest shooting and athleticism we've ever seen in Olympic basketball. The guards were Chris Paul, Darren Williams, and Russell Westbrook, alongside of Kobe Bryant and James Harden. The forwards were LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Carmelo Anthony, Andre Iguodala, Anthony Davis, and Kevin Love. The only player who officially played full-time at the center position was Tyson Chandler. This was right around the time that the NBA was officially moving into the era of positionless basketball, as it wasn't uncommon for this group to run an undersized 5 on the court. But with nearly everyone being a threat from distance, there was little the defense could do to disrupt them. As I mentioned earlier, this group was especially athletic, and it makes sense considering how Kobe was the only player on this team who was above the age of 30.
Kobe,
3,
man.
The 2008 Redeem Team.
The
guards were Jason Kidd, Chris Paul, and Darren Williams, alongside of the MVP Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, and Michael Redd. Forwards were LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Tayshaun Prince, Chris Bosh, and Carlos Boozer. Holding down the center position was the young Dwight Howard. I tend to take a lot of heat for the somewhat unpopular opinion that the 08 team was better than the 2012 team. Yes, the 2008 team didn't have Kevin Durant, but they did have a Kobe Bryant who was actually in his prime, a prime Dwayne Wade who was arguably the best player during the Beijing Olympics, and they also had Jason Kidd, who was absolute magic on the court alongside of athletic finishers like LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. Dwight Howard was also the perfect center for this team, he was dominant with his interior defense, and he was a great lob finisher for a team with so many playmakers. Tyson Chandler in 2012 is a decent option, but a young and athletically superior Dwight Howard was simply on another level. The team also had one key component that USA teams don't usually have: hunger, as they were determined to redeem themselves after the bronze medal in 2004.
Which had Tim Duncan and Allen Iverson on it.
This group was hounding
Don't forget that.
Especially on the perimeter, as the team displayed the kind of hustle and
don't just mention LeBron and Carmelo either.
From an NBA Finals series. Number 2, the 1992 Dream Team. This team isn't just considered as the greatest basketball team ever, but many people consider them as the greatest team ever assembled in all of sports.
Yeah, that's like one of the greatest
guards were Magic Johnson and John Stockton,
1988.
complemented by the athletic scoring 2 guards Michael Jordan and Clyde the Glide Drexler. The forwards were Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, Chris Mullin, Charles Barkley, and Karl Malone. Holding down the center position was the strong tandem of David Robinson and Patrick Ewing. And for the sake of this video, we're throwing in the near 30 points per game scorer, Dominique Wilkins, as a replacement for the college athlete, Christian Laettner. What is there to say about this team that hasn't already been said? 11 Hall of Famers, all competing to stand out amongst one another, dominating the likes of Angola and the rest of the world
to a college players too. That's what's crazy.
Angola,
to guys like Chris Webber.
Throw in Dominique Wilkins, and this team somehow becomes even more terrifying in transition than they already were. Number 1, the 1988 team.
The year I was born, 1988.
What would have been the greatest USA team on paper is the team that could have been just before the Dream Team showed up. The guards are Magic Johnson, John Stockton, Isaiah Thomas, Michael Jordan, and Clyde Drexler.
Excellent. It does not get any better than that. I think he was still doing that time period where, you know, Isaiah Thomas, he was kind of cool at everyone, so he would not have been left off of a Dream Team, or, you know, left off the Team USA, because he said like when he was in college in 1980, he hurt his like he was injured. I know it was a leg injury. I forgot what it was, but he was injured. He couldn't play. While Michael Jordan got to play in the 1984 college team, which is crazy. You know, but hey, it is what it is.
Are Larry Bird, Dominique Wilkins, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, and Kevin McHale. The centers are 2 men who basically ran the 80s down low, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Moses Malone. This group would have been very similar to the Dream Team, but the few differences are incredibly significant.
He was still playing.
Entirely in favor of the 88 team. Michael Jordan is coming off of his 1988 MVP.
That's when Michael Jordan became Michael Jordan.
Which is
1988,
the greatest season of all time from an individual standpoint. Unlike 1992, Magic Johnson just won his 2nd straight championship.
Michael Johnson was still in his prime right there. Isaiah Thomas was beginning in his prime,
as he was just coming off of his 2nd straight 50-40-90 season, while averaging 30 points per game, and he isn't dealing with the back issues to the extent that he was in 1992. with this USA
I think
team,
I think Larry Bird was just winding down
while playing some of his best basketball.
But he was still in
Many
his prime.
of the players from the 92 team are here, but they're just faster and more athletic.
Yep.
Then you throw in guys like Kevin McHale, who's arguably the greatest in-the-post scorer of league history, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, whose skyhook isn't getting contested by anyone not named Wilt Chamberlain, and it's a wrap. This team would have had zero weaknesses. So what do you think? Which potential USA team would be the strongest? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for watching as always.
I agree with this list. I agree with this
list. More basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next
video. Thank you for not putting the 2004 bronze team because that would have been bad. But with that being said, do you guys agree with this list? Let me know. Comment down below. Hit a like and subscribe to your boy. You can check out my other basketball video over here. Peace, love, and rock and roll.